was diagnosed with diabetes type 2, and obviously for health reasons and my weight, I decided to join the programme. I've always sort of been borderline diabetes through pregnancy, so I've always had to sort of watch, mainly for my health and weight, continually, so that was the reason why I wanted to join the programme, for health reasons as well. It was still a shock being diagnosed with diabetes, so it's always something at the back of your mind you're wary of, and it's just trying to understand how it affects your life and how it can affect your life going forward. I felt the programme was really good, so you had group calls with other people that were in the same boat as you, so that was quite helpful, so you could sort of discuss issues or just get some ideas back from people, find out how they're doing. The nurses were on hand all the time as well, and I think there was calls every couple of weeks, and you had books that gave you information, and the actual shakes were quite easy to follow, considering you're going from eating meals to not eating and on shakes. So it was a change, but you got the help required to help you get through the journey. I think the first week's the hardest, because you're going from eating food to shakes and your body's sort of going through a transition, and I think the hardest part is more like everybody has things day to day, like you've got meals out with family, you've got occasions, weddings, holidays, so I think it was more planning and pre-planning, which you have to do to understand what to do and how you're going to get round that with taking the shakes and things like that. So I think the planning, that's sort of key to taking the shakes. I think the one good thing about being on the shakes is you see a change quite quickly, and I think that keeps you motivated. Like your first week you could lose 5 pounds, so that's quite a lot, because a lot of it is potentially water, but I think that does motivate you because you can actually see it, whereas if you're on a normal diet you'd maybe lose a pound, put a pound on, so you sort of go up and down, whereas the shakes you actually see the benefits quite quickly, so I think that does keep you motivated. I actually quite like the virtual, I think probably because it started during COVID as well, so you were used to that environment, and I think with working full time and fitting into your lifestyle, that was easier doing it virtual than having to go travelling to somewhere and things like that. I thought that was easier for me actually. Health wise I'm a lot better, I feel healthier, and it's just basically managing it now. That's probably the hardest part, is your controlling your food and portion sizes and things like that, but I definitely feel health wise I'm a lot healthier. I do more exercise, or try and do as much exercise as I can, so yeah, the older you get it's harder, but yeah, definitely. I think it is definitely worthwhile going on the programme, and I think the biggest thing I've got out of it is planning, basically. I think that's, you've got to plan your meals, write a list at the beginning of the week, or decide what you're having that week and then stick to that. Portion sizes as well, that's the big thing, and just knowing what you've got planned ahead, like weddings and things like that, so you can pre-plan in time for that. So if you know you've got something coming up, you can reduce your calories before that, so you can enjoy your night out or your function, whatever you're going to. So it is planning, I think, is the biggest thing, definitely, being organised and planning. You want to enjoy, if you're going to a wedding for example, you don't want to go to a wedding and say, oh, I'm not having a drink or I'm not having food. So if you pre-plan it and just reduce your calories slightly so you can have a good time and enjoy it, because everybody's going to have things on. You can't stop your life and say I'm not going to this or whatever just because it's basically a lifestyle choice. You've got to make the change for the rest of your life. It's not just going to do it for a couple of years and then forget about it, because you'll be back to square one or worse again. So everybody has a life, you have to take part and you want to enjoy your life, so it's just making those small changes to help you do that. Everybody on the programme is so helpful, the information provided was helpful. I know it's not going to be perfect, you're not going to be perfect every time, but there's people there to help you if you do sort of go off track a little bit, so definitely, it's definitely worthwhile trying sort of for health benefits and losing weight. Once you sort of knew what you were having, like your shake in the morning, whatever, lunchtime and your tea time, you get into a routine, so you don't actually have to think about food. So I actually found it quite easy after that, because even going to work, you're like, you just grabbed your sachets and off you went, whereas normally you're like, oh, what am I having for breakfast, lunch and tea, and you've got to organise it, where it was like, you know what you've got out the door, that's you. So I actually found it quite easy once you were on the programme. Certain times are difficult, everybody goes through that, but the majority of the time actually, and I think you get, I don't know about everybody, but I found I actually had more energy when I was on them. I don't know if it was just the reduction in calories, or you were on the go and you were exercising, a mixture of both things, I don't know, but yeah, I actually found it okay and quite easy once I was on the programme. I think that's the thing, you think you know everything or you think you understand, but just someone there helping you and giving you that information and advice, and you can ask questions there and then, I think that does actually help you going forward, yeah.